Hi, hello. I'm Daniela Weiss. I'm a nutritionist, a strategic intervention coach, a clinical hypnotherapist, and I'm also a counselor. And today I'd like to start a discussion with you. Yes, you. And during this discussion, I'm going to touch on how our brains function during this video. So stay with me. I'd like to ask you a question. What is your health worth to you? Truly, seriously, what is it worth to you? Is it worth everything? Is it worth nothing? Worth the equivalent of a used car, or your house, or one family holiday, or 1 or 2 years of not going to Starbucks? Maybe your annual train fare? Think about it. Really think about it. And I also want you to think about what it would mean to have your health back. What would you be able to do? Would you be able to contribute, to earn, or at the very least support the people who support you financially without having to feel bad all the time because you know you're not really pulling your weight? And trust me, I know what that feels like because I have been there many years ago. So what else would you be able to do if you had your health back? Maybe you'd be able to enjoy family time and vacations with your family. Really think about that. See, over the years of working with people with chronic diseases, of which, by the way, obesity is one, I've seen a few patterns over and over again, and I can often predict what is going to happen. I always ask the question, how bad is it on a scale of 1 to 10? And why do you now want to change the way your health is at this particular time? The why being the most important question here, because it is your personal motivator. And that gives me then a good idea if a person is indeed ready to make a change or not. You know, change always scares us, and our brains are wired that way to protect us. It's a natural, primal response. It's not anybody's fault. It's just primal fear. And until we conquer that fear, it's difficult for us to move out of that blockage. So we need to take back control from our subconscious in that case. And you may not entirely like what I'm saying here today, but sometimes we have to hear things because we don't always see the truth, unless someone points it out to us, even if we don't like it in that moment. Because the reason why I'm saying this is because it is never really about the money, let's be honest. If you have to, you can always find money. And I can tell you so many stories about why I know this to be true. It almost always comes down to priorities. Even if someone tells you that health is indeed their priority. Now, what I found is that some people are determined to claim their life back, and others don't believe health is available to them anymore and almost will not allow themselves to decide that they're worth any money to get healthy unless they have a partner or spouse, and sometimes even children, to push them into making the right decision, and the decision into health and away from that fear that is controlling them and holding them back. And then there are those who put their head in the sand and think they can carry on the way they are, trying 100 different things, eating the foods they want or crave, or they follow a plan that sounded appealing enough to them, but never does anything for their chronic health issues. It doesn't make sense, and it comes from a place of fear. Or they tell themselves that healthy eating is not affordable anyway, and this has been proven over and over again to be untrue in America and the UK. There are ways of making that possible. Yes, it takes effort, and it takes will, and it takes strength. But what's more, some people are hiding from the fact that symptoms don't just disappear unless they remove the cause. If they don't remove the cause, symptoms And usually diagnoses will increase and make things worse. And then it's a downward spiral from there. It's a logical consequence of not addressing the cause. Let me talk openly here. My program is priced to be affordable, but enough to ensure people stick to it. In fact, it's actually cheap because the value is at least 10, 20, or 30 times more. For the price of a used car, or a holiday for the family, or your annual train ticket for that matter, you can get your health back. But not just that, it's more than that, because you get your life back. And in doing so, you can stop the downward spiral. And I know what I'd rather have, because without health, I'm not going to have any of the other things very soon. And I remember when I was very sick, and I did not have the option of working with someone who had spent well over 20 years learning how to get healthy and give me a done-for-me plan, a ready-made plan to get my life back. If I could go back now and have that option, I would pay them all the money I've spent through debts and credit cards, and I even sold possessions, whatever I needed to do. And it was actually well in excess of probably $150,000. I would pay that entire money gladly today for my program as it is today, to get the years of sickness back and get to live my life at 90 and 100% instead of 30 or 40%. Hands down, because you see, nothing tastes as good as health. And certainly not money. I will never ever forget one person I spoke to, and she told me that she could not afford the program. And then she proceeded to tell me that she was on her way to get her $5,000 worth of hair extensions. And with the best will in the world, I can never, ever get my head around this. Anyway, let me go back to what I was going to say. The people who will get well are, number one, those who have a massively supportive environment around them from start to finish, where there are people around them who take a keen interest in what they're doing and who will ask questions, who are present and very often want to talk to me during the program as well. They get involved, and once they learn why I do the things I do the way I do them, they often start to review their way of thinking and viewing health and eating in the end and living, because they want to improve their lives, because they realize that they have, quite frankly, been losing out. And then number two are the kind of people who are determined against all the odds, against the advice of well-meaning friends who keep wanting to send them back to the doctor who got them in this mess in the first place, or people in their local support groups who want to maintain the status quo, who, because it's safe in numbers, there's your primal fear again, so they all feel safe because they're all sick together and believe together that health is not available to them, or anybody else for that matter. But these determined, I won't take prisoners anymore kind of people are the people who don't take no for an answer. They will not let others steal their dream. They simply say yes. They say yes to themselves and make a success of it. Even if it takes them a week or sometimes a month or two to find the money they need. But they're committed and they make things happen for themselves. And then there are those who basically just want to have a sounding board why the things they've been trying are not working. And often they get the advice from people who are also sick and who have also not succeeded in getting well neither. But again, they feel comfortable in their status quo and they make their sickness almost their journey. For me, there is no other explanation for that or that kind of behavior. And these are the dabblers who unfortunately still have to find their courage and understand that they are actually really meant to be healthy. So if you're sick and you only get to run at 40%, you're in essence, really, you're shortening your life because you're losing out. And I speak to many people almost daily. And sometimes I go back and I call people I'd had a conversation with a year earlier to see how they're doing. Here's the thing. I have not had one single person that has said no to my program tell me that they have made a full recovery and that they're now fine. Most of them, about 85 to 90%, I'd say, got worse, both physically and emotionally. And it gets me really depressed. It gets me depressed because I must have failed to explain to them what it could mean either way to them. Do the program, or if they do nothing, or keep doing the 100 cheap programs, which by the way come to the same amount of money anyway. They are stopped by their money story and by their fear. And they probably don't even know it. So if you're serious about your health and you have a firm intention to make a change and you've had enough of not getting anywhere on your own, quite simply, you have to take courage and you have to take action. Get yourself on a program that works and give it your all. Give it your very best. You have got to open up to change. And in doing so, you're opening yourself up to possibility. And if you are serious and you finally want a solution that will transform your health, I invite you to have a conversation about your future with health. You probably know how to get in touch with me by now, but here's how. You can either contact me via the instant messenger on Facebook, or you can go to m.me/resetyourbodynow. That's m.me/resetyourbodynow. Or you can go directly to my website, which is danielarweiss.com/apply. That's Daniela, RWEISS.com/apply, and book an appointment with me directly. But until then, dare to dream and take control of your health. Bye-bye.